Hey there! So today we have another Darwin's Rants. I guess the final news on this one, you have to watch the end with some. I mean, it's not big news. It's just more update on the great news I found about with the new job offer I got. If you guys don't know, you got to check out the last video. But basically, got a job offer at Disney Springs fine dining restaurant. Literally the dream job that I've been looking for years now. So yeah, literally, yeah. So since then. So that was, I gave you guys the news on Tuesday when I got the job offer. Since then, so if you guys don't know, I have two jobs, working at a brewery called Runabout, and then also a Mexican restaurant called F&D Cantina. So what I do basically, like every job, sorry, if you guys don't know, so yeah, I'm just go chronological. This is a chronological story about how my week went, so figure it out. There'll be timestamps. Every job's like, whenever you are done with your shift, there's a checkout report of like, all right, this is how much cash you owe to the restaurant, because if you accept cash for, people paying with cash. But with that report, you sort of see like, all right, well, I made this much in tips tonight, right? It's cool. Well, that gets a little complicated when you work at a larger restaurant where there's like tip outs. How tip out works is that, well, I'm obviously a bartending or serving and dealing with people, and I make X amount of tips, but there's other people working, right? At Stanford Brewing, there usually wasn't, which is, why it was this a very lucrative job for me. Granted, we did when we were at our peak and killing it, like, yeah, we had support staff for sure. But most restaurants almost always work with support staff, and that includes bussers who run around, pick up plates and dishes and stuff, barbacks who, help the bartender stock this and do other kind of stuff that helps the bar function, cut fruit, and all that stuff. Hostesses who stand at the host stand and, greet people and seat them at tables. Food runners who just literally stand at the kitchen window and just grab food and run it to your table. Boom, 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 right? There's multiple jobs out there, and there's even more than that, right? So a lot of times, or most of the time, you make your tips, but then you give some of those tips away to those other people that are helping make your job facilitate your situation, right? So I just realized more recently, which I probably should have been more aggressive about, that I could have logged into a website. So most of my jobs, you get emailed a pay stub. All right, these are how much tips I made, blah, 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 which before it was just like, all right, well, I made my money. At the Mexican Cantina, I didn't actually get it, but it was on the website. So all right, I logged the website, and I started to match numbers, and I was like, ooh, my like how much I expected to make. Like I wrote down my tips. I was like, oh, I'm making decent money. Okay, cool. I compared and contrast, and I was not matching. It just did not make sense. I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. So I was like worried. I talked to my friend manager. I talked to the staff. Oh my God, it's not working out. I'm freaking out. Something's wrong. Oh my God, I gotta figure this out. So, so I was working on it. I was like, try to write it down, try to figure this stuff out, compare and contrast my pay stubs to what I had on my numbers. Today, I worked a lunch. It was actually quite busy. So actually, no, let's go chronological. So Wednesday was hot doo-doo. Worked at the cantina. So one of the so generally, when you work a lot of restaurants, I've worked at places, ideally it should take 30 minutes to open up the place. At F&D it's a full hour. And by the way, the full hour means below minimum wage. Like we just upped it to $11 an hour, but $10 an hour. So you're literally making no money, basically, right? You're just spending the entire time like setting up everybody to succeed, ideally in the evening. So ideally, you can make some money during lunch to make up for it. It's been a full hour doing that. Was at the restaurant for about 2.5 hours and made about $40. So 3.5 hours, $40, and that's my entire day. It's not like I have another job to back it up for it. Just like, bro, you made your entire day, made $40. So look. Well, with my hourly, okay, made 50, 70. Oh, sorry, some of it went to tip out, which is a hint of what the issues are. So maybe I made like $50, $60, $70 for an entire day supporting 4 people because Katie doesn't work right now. So I support 2 adults and 2 children. Wow. Okay. Then next day goes along. Thursday. I did all that rigmarole. I took one to-go order, and I made 96 cents, and I tipped out to the bartender. So I made probably 70 cents plus my hourly, so I made like $30, and I had to drive to work. So I made like maybe $30 the entire day. And made 76 cents in tips. So I made like way below minimum wage, like way below minimum wage. Yeah. So that was really fun. And then I had to go back into work, which then I made like maybe with my $100 whatever. So I had to go to work, make no money, then go home, then go back to work, and actually made like some amount of money, which wasn't even amazing money. So cool. Then I had to work today at a runabout, which actually was quite lucrative. I'm just solo, right? Like the one thing that you can do when lunch is slow, it's like don't staff 2 people, just like let somebody figure it out. So I figured it out. Quite busy. Yeah, made pretty good. What I'm used to just in my career, right? Solo, just busting ass, bam, boom. No support staff, no tip out. Maybe the owner cleared a couple of tables for me, but that's maybe it. Like I just did everything. So it's a fun night, fun lunch. And then so for the past month, I've pretty much been doing these suicide doubles, which basically means open one restaurant and like leave the house at 10 a.m. Don't get home till midnight, right? So just like long 14-hour day. Randomly, they changed my schedule to work on Saturday so runabout into Cantina was my normal Friday. They moved my Friday into a Saturday night. So then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go to my next job. I actually literally I had literally like multiple tables that had like $100 worth of sales with $20 in tips, or 20% is $20. I just transferred to the other server. It's like, I gotta go to work. I text my friend manager. I was like, I'm gonna be late. I gotta go. I'm already rush hour. She's like, you don't work till tomorrow. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, so I smashed a monster while I'm driving. Try to rush my other job. Didn't realize that they moved me from Friday to Saturday. This is why you got to pay attention to the little dots and periods and letters. So I got home, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to break down this shit with my pay stubs at the Cantina, right? I knew there was a tip out, but I didn't realize basically between a food runner and a bartender, I was getting a little. It's 20% of your money's getting taken out. So I was like, oh no. So like I had expectations of like, oh, like first off, I'm just not doing well. Like since slow season, getting fired from Brulando in May, it's just been slow. Trying to pick up. Get to full time, like, and then I only had one job at Runabout, which wasn't even full time. And then I had to pick another job. So then I had Runabout and Cantina, and then Cantina took like multiple training shifts and a slow season. So like it took a minute to like pick up. And then finally when I was working like basically full time, I was like, oh, cool. Like my money's like not great, but it's okay. Excuse me. Well, pull 20% out of that at least. So I just start breaking down. So for understand, I was crying wolf. The hours are okay. Because if that makes sense to you, like if my hours of what I clocked in and what my tips sort of like match is like, if my hours are correct, it's hard for them to fuck up the tips. It's just they're taking X amount out of my tips to the food runners and the bussers, right? Food runners and the bartenders. And I didn't realize it that harsh. So then I started doing the math on what I'm averaging per shift at the Cantina, and especially these garbage lunch shifts, which again, I can literally tell you right now, 96 cents, like just not like the bottoms of the bottoms, but like in general, it's like 96 cents, $8, $11. I'm trying to think of recent ones. $40, $25, right? Just like boom, 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 just like and I'm making $11 an hour, so that's all you do for the whole day, right? Unless you have another job to back it up. So maybe some shifts I had. No, not really. No, I didn't have another job to back up on it. So looked at it. Boom. If if I work that job full time, and it's full time's weird because like 5 shifts. Like, so this is a weird thing about the serving bartending industry. You know, usually your salary is based on like, all right, you do 9 to 5, 8 hours, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. That's your salary, right? But in the serving industry, you sort of have to make a higher hourly because your shifts are really not really usually 8 hours. You know, a lot of times like let's say just in general, like let's say a restaurant's open. Most of the times the restaurants are open like 11 hours a day. You know, 11 to 10, right? Some restaurants even less than that. So you got to split that up. I mean, usually people don't work 11 hours, like open to close, which, you know, yeah. Which staff-wise would probably be 12 hours because you have to open time, close time, you know. So usually you're not making people work 12 hours open and close. So normally your shifts are maybe going to be 6-ish hours. With the short shifts with lunch, I'm averaging around 5 hours at the cantina. So you have short shifts, but you really need a high hourly to get there, but not higher hourly. I think if I did if I did the math, if I was working there quote unquote full time, 5 shifts a week, which would only be 25 hours, I think my yearly income would be like half the U.S. salary, which is like 66. I think the math turned out to be like 33,000 a year. So granted, thankfully I have another job. Like 33,000 to math-wise to support, like, you know, a family is just not acceptable. Yeah. It's a lot of tip hanging out. It's overstaffing. The place is slow. I don't know. So anyway, I found out that news. So like, I'm a lot poorer than I thought I was. And you're like, well, Darwin, like, don't you know how your finances are? Sort of, but I've just been hiding it in credit cards because, like, I have a couple zero interest credit cards, and one is actually due in December, which I really need to figure out soon. That's sort of how life has been going. It's been rough. So I thought it was a little bit less shitty than it was, but it's really shitty. Finding out that I was pretty much making like a lot less than I thought it was. Right? So figure that out. Good news I found out today is that, yesterday, is that the background check cleared in 2 days. They said anywhere to 5-10 days. I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta wait another 2 weeks until we start this job. God damn it. Cleared. I don't have anything on my record. So I got an email this morning, but I was stuck at work all day, and they were like, hey, by the way, can you confirm that you're able to do orientation in pretty much not this Monday, but next Monday. Yeah, not this Monday, but next Monday. So it's about a week and a half away. So I replied finally later, after probably people were at work in the afternoon, so I didn't get my emails. Because, I got to get some information. I got to be like, by the way, nobody's called me or texted me or anything. I just get a couple emails. Like, here, accept this corporate email thingy. Here, sign up, give us this information for a background check. And then finally, I got an email today about, you have an orientation date. Just agree to it. So I emailed that back, but I haven't gotten an email back. So I finally have an orientation date for this dream job in Disney Springs. But I need more information. I'd be like, hey, I mean, obviously, like simple information, like, oh, what do I need to wear? What do I need to bring? But then also, you're like, well, like what is it a part-time job or full-time job? Because that vastly affects like what my plan is going forward, right? In the meantime, I'm still signing up for other jobs. Like, you know, like, right? I'm not being stupid. Like, pouring all my eggs in one basket. Like, I need to figure out, like, oh, well, like, what other opportunities are out there? So actually, I'm interviewed in a hotel. I think hopefully, the next week. So I have an interview, blah blah. So hopefully that goes through, right? Like, you know, like you gotta keep your eyes open, right? Because I've been getting fucking. I'm gonna be legit. I'm getting fucking destroyed last few months. Like I can't survive off of, you know. If you guys want to be serious, I'm averaging a full day's shift $140, including my hourly. Yeah, that's what that's like. What's the math on that? It's like $17 an hour to support a family. What? Myself supporting a family for $17 an hour. That's what F&D is averaging at. Unbelievable. Oh no, wait. Yeah. Well, no. That's not what I'm actually making hourly while I'm working. But if you extrapolate it to me, just that's my entire day's worth of work. Yeah, something like that. It's yeah. That's like, no offense. You could work full time at like In and Out and make more than that. I don't know. Whatever. Not okay. So I'm not working a lot of hours, but I'm not making that much money. So anyway, so yeah, obviously you got to keep your eyes open for other shit. But the big one, yeah, I need to find out full time, part time. And then I honestly should ask, like, yo, I'm sure, you know what? I'm sure it's insane money, but I should probably get an idea, just like, you know, for my own sanity check's sake. But how I know it's insane is, well, in general, it's Disney Springs. But at least one anecdotal evidence is one of my regulars is Hemper Brewing. When all things were going down, a lot of the regulars actually cared about us, which is so awesome. And like literally, one person just works at Disney actually sent me a message today, which I replied to when I got to chat with him. But she works literally across the street at the Irish pub where Morimoto is in Disney Springs. And she's being very transparent one night. And she's like, well, I don't know how much money you make here. And bro, I was making good money at San Francisco. She showed me, like, I use this Excel, but like she was showing me this app where you, like, you know, you tip something, I was looking at her, I was like, dumb money. It's dumb money to be made there. And I was like, oh my God. So, maybe that's an opportunity to like reach out on. She gave me her Instagram. I was like, oh, I did reach out a little while ago. She never replied, but maybe reach out again. Hey, by the way, I got hired across the street from you. Do you have more work? Especially if I'm only part time at this restaurant, then I need to, you know, find out if there's other opportunities for sure, right? So anyway, what is that? Bad news about, like, well, what's happened. Like, I have not been making money. I guess my paychecks, I should have been looking like, well, that fuck, my paycheck's so shitty, But then the good news is, like, things are moving forward. Training will happen soon. And training apparently takes 10 shifts. I would love it to be faster than 2 weeks, but it might just have to take 2 weeks. It might just 5 1 week, 5 1 weeks. Too bad. You can't do, you know, doubles. If it was up to me, I'd do like, I do 2 1 day, 2 1 day, 2 1 day, 2 1 day. Put me on the schedule, right? So we'll see. But just working my ass off. Tomorrow is another long day. Gonna be out the door for at least 12 hours. Then have to be back to work after getting home late. Back at work at 10 a.m. Cannot wait to quit this job. Until next time, cheers later.